Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English Conversation Practice Podcast. It's so nice to have you here with us again. I'm Sophie.
And I'm Alex. Hi, everyone. Really, I'm happy you're here. I always imagine people listening while they're drinking tea or taking a walk. It makes this feel even cozier somehow.
It really does. And thank you for joining us today. If you enjoy peaceful English conversations that feel like talking with friends, you're in the right place.
And hey, if you'd like more friendly episodes like this, please remember to subscribe. It really helps our little podcast grow.
Exactly. Thank you so much. So today, we're going to talk about something gentle, simple, and very real life, daily English conversation practice.
Yeah, like the kind of English you use when you talk to friends, coworkers, neighbors, or just people you meet throughout the day.
Nothing fancy, nothing stressful, just everyday English that helps you feel more connected to the world.
And honestly, these kinds of conversations are my favorite. They feel warm and human, you know?
I do, and I think we need more of that in the world. So before we jump into the topic fully, how are you today, Alex?
I'm good. A little sleepy, though. I stayed up late last night watching a documentary about penguins.
Penguins?
Don't laugh.
I'm not laughing. I just didn't expect penguins to be the reason.
I know, but they're so cute. And one penguin kept dropping a rock and looking confused, and I swear I related to it.
I love that. Well, I'm doing well too. I made myself a really nice breakfast this morning. Eggs, toast, and tea. And I ate it slowly while watching the sunlight come into the room.
That sounds peaceful. I rushed through my breakfast. I grabbed a banana and ran out the door.
Classic morning chaos.
Exactly. But little moments like breakfast, those are places where I try to practice English too. Even just thinking in English for a minute.
That's actually a beautiful way to start the conversation, because daily English practice doesn't only happen in big moments. It happens in the tiny ones.
Yeah, like when you talk to the barista at a coffee shop. Good morning. How's your day going? Those easy, friendly conversations.
Or when you chat with a coworker while waiting for the elevator. Something simple like, busy day, or did you watch anything good last night?
Exactly. No lessons, just life.
And I think that's what makes daily English conversation feel natural. You don't force it. You just let it happen in the small places.
You know, I had a moment like that yesterday. I was at the supermarket buying apples, and the cashier looked at the apples and said, "These look good today."
That's such a typical small talk moment.
Yeah. And I said, "I hope so. I've been disappointed before." And she laughed, and suddenly it felt like a nice, tiny connection.
I love that. And that's exactly the spirit of today's episode. Little moments of conversation that make your day feel easier, lighter, more connected.
Yeah, daily English doesn't have to be serious. It can be fun, funny, or even a little awkward.
Especially the awkward ones.
Oh, I'm the king of awkward.
I don't think so. But yes, these small chats, these little interactions, they help you feel more confident, and they also help you feel more human in a busy world.
Definitely. And I think everyone listening has had moments like that. Maybe on the bus, at work, at school, at the gym.
Anywhere, really. And in today's episode, we're going to explore more of those cozy little conversations, how they sound, how they feel, and how they fit naturally into everyday life.
It's going to be very relaxed. Just soft English conversation you can enjoy.
So let's keep going. Alex, what's one of your favorite small daily conversations you have?
Oh, I've got one. It happens almost every morning.
Perfect. Let's talk about it.
So this little daily conversation I have, it happens with my neighbor. We always leave our apartments around the same time in the morning.
Ah, the morning neighbor moment. That's a classic.
Exactly. And every day, without fail, we have the same kind of short, friendly chat. Something like, "Morning," and then one of us says, "Ready for another day?"
It always sounds like a mix of hope and exhaustion.
Yes. And honestly, it's only like 10 seconds, but it makes the morning feel less lonely.
I completely understand that. Sometimes those tiny interactions give you a sense of routine, like the world is gently saying, "You're not alone."
Exactly. And you don't need perfect English to have those conversations. They're so simple.
And kind, even a simple, "How's your morning going?" can make someone smile.
True. You know, speaking of mornings, do you ever have those days when you wake up and everything feels a little slower?
Oh, yes, like the world is wrapped in a blanket.
Yes, that feeling. I had one of those days last week. I made myself coffee, sat on the couch, and just listened to the quiet.
That sounds lovely.
It really was. And I practiced a bit of English then too, just thinking about what I needed to do. Okay, first I'll go to the store, then I'll answer emails. Talking to myself.
I do that too. Sometimes I talk to my plants.
So do I. I tell mine, come on, you can do it.
Grow, please.
Exactly. Daily English can be like that. Soft, quiet, used in small moments when you're alone, not only when you're talking to someone else.
Yes, and those little private conversations help your brain switch into English mode. It doesn't feel like studying, it just feels natural.
You know another place I practice? The bus stop.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, sometimes people make small talk while waiting, especially if the bus is late.
That always brings strangers together. Nothing unites people like a late bus.
So true. The other day, a woman looked at her watch and sighed, and I said, "Seems like the bus is taking a break today."
That's such a friendly line.
She laughed and said, "Yeah, I think it overslept." And then we talked for maybe 2 minutes about the weather, the weekend, nothing big, but it felt nice.
I love those spontaneous conversations. They feel human and warm.
And they're great practice. You can use simple, natural phrases like long day or nice weather today.
Phrases people actually use in the real world.
Exactly. And I think everyone listening has these small opportunities throughout the day, even if they don't notice them.
Yes, listeners might talk to a driver, a coworker, a cashier, a neighbor, a classmate, even someone in a waiting room.
Or the barista who always asks, "How's your day going so far?"
Yes, I love that one. It feels like such a gentle invitation to talk.
And even if you just say, "It's going well, thanks, and yours?" That's already a nice little moment.
Exactly. Daily English conversation doesn't need big topics. It just needs a little warmth and a little courage.
True. Speaking of courage, I had a moment last week where I almost chickened out.
Oh, what happened?
I was at the bakery, and there was this really friendly man behind the counter. He always tries to make conversation. And this time, he said, "How's your morning treating you?"
That's a sweet question.
It is. And I froze for like 1 second. I almost panicked, but then I smiled and said, "Pretty good so far."
That's perfect.
And he said, "Glad to hear it." And that was it. A tiny moment, but I felt proud afterward.
You should. Those small victories matter. They build confidence little by little.
Definitely. Do you have any little daily conversations that make you smile?
So there's this little bakery near my house. I go there maybe twice a week. And every time I walk in, the same woman smiles at me and says, "Hi, sweetheart. What are we having today?"
Sweetheart, that's adorable.
I know. She talks to everyone like that. Young people, older people, everyone is sweetheart or darling, and it just makes the whole place feel warm.
That's the kind of person who makes your day without even knowing it.
Exactly. And sometimes we end up chatting about the weather or how busy the morning is. But one time, she asked me if I had any weekend plans, and we ended up talking for almost 5 minutes.
Really?
Yes, I told her I planned to read and clean my apartment, and she told me she was going to visit her sister. It was such a simple conversation, but it felt nice.
See? That's what daily English conversation is. Not big topics, just life.
Right. And what I love is how natural those conversations are. You don't think, "Oh no, grammar." You just talk.
You just respond like a human being.
Yes, exactly.
Sometimes the best conversations are the ones you don't plan. Like yesterday, I was walking home and a guy was out watering his plants on the sidewalk, and one of the plants sprayed me a little.
Oh no.
It wasn't bad, just a tiny sprinkle, and he immediately said, "Oops, sorry, the plants are misbehaving today."
That's such a great line.
I know, right? And I said, no worries, they're just excited. He laughed, and we talked for a moment.
That's such a charming interaction.
Yeah. And moments like that remind me that English is not just vocabulary lists. It's these natural little exchanges that make your day feel brighter.
And it teaches you something important. You don't need perfect English to be friendly. You just need a smile and a simple phrase.
Exactly. Sometimes even just good morning opens a door.
Yes, I had another small conversation last week. I was waiting for my coffee and a woman next to me dropped her keys.
Oh no.
They didn't fall far, but I picked them up and handed them to her. And she said, "Thank you, Lifesaver."
Lifesaver. That's such a nice, funny word.
It is, and we both smiled. That was it, but it felt like such a human moment.
I love that. It makes the day softer somehow.
Exactly. And these little interactions help you practice English without stress. You're just being kind, being friendly.
You know, I think people sometimes forget how many opportunities they actually have each day.
True. Even something like asking for directions can turn into a nice conversation.
Or talking to a coworker about lunch.
Or saying, "Have a good day" to someone at the grocery store.
Those moments add up, and you start feeling more natural speaking English.
Yes, and I think the key is not to think of them as practice, just think of them as little connections.
Exactly. I had another one recently. This one made me laugh. I was buying a sandwich, and the girl making it looked so tired, and she said, "I need a vacation."
Oh, I feel that in my soul.
Same. So I said, "Me too. Let's go together."
You didn't.
I did, but I said it jokingly, of course, and she laughed so hard, and suddenly the whole moment felt relaxed and funny.
That's wonderful. Those tiny moments are like little reminders that people are friendly and conversations can be easy.
Exactly. And once you start talking to people like that, it becomes easier every time.
Yes, and speaking of tiny moments, there's one more type of daily conversation I really love. It happens when you run into someone you haven't seen in a while.
Oh, like the long time no see moment?
Yes, that one. And I had one just a few days ago. So, a few days ago, I was walking to the bus stop and I suddenly heard someone call my name. I turned around and it was an old coworker I hadn't seen in maybe 2 years.
Oh, wow. Those moments always feel a little surprising.
They do. And at first, we were both like, "Oh my gosh, hi, how are you?" You know, that sort of excited, slightly awkward energy.
The I don't know what to say first, so I'll just smile a lot moment.
Exactly. But then we walked together for a bit and talked about old memories from work. It was simple, natural, and we ended our chat with, "It was so nice to see you again."
I love that phrase. It feels warm and honest.
It does. And it reminded me of something. Daily English isn't always short or small. Sometimes it turns into a slightly longer conversation that leaves you smiling afterward.
Yes, like when you bump into an old friend or you meet someone you used to study with. Those conversations always feel special.
And they're still simple, still human, still everyday English.
You know, one of my favorite conversations is when someone asks, "How have you been?" It's such a soft, friendly question.
It is, and the answer can be simple too. "I've been good, busy, but good."
I say that a lot.
Same. But these kinds of gentle exchanges remind me why I love daily English. It's not about perfect sentences, it's about connection.
Yes. For example, yesterday I had a long day, and when I got home, my neighbor was taking out the trash. He looked at me and said, "Rough day?"
A classic.
And I said, "Yeah, I'm ready for pajamas." And he laughed and said, "Same." And that was it. But it made me feel better.
Because someone understood you, even for a moment.
Exactly. And I think our listeners probably have these little chats too, with family, with friends, with strangers.
And maybe now they'll feel more confident enjoying those moments, not as practice, but as part of life.
Yes. Daily English isn't a lesson. It's a collection of little moments where you connect, smile, or just feel heard.
And those moments build comfort, slowly, gently, without pressure.
I think that's what makes language beautiful. It's not perfect. It's just human.
Exactly. Before we wrap up, I want to talk for a minute about vocabulary, not in a teaching way, but in a natural way.
Because during our day, we use real-life phrases all the time. Good morning. How's it going? Busy day? Take care. See you around. Have a good one.
Yes, those tiny phrases make conversations warm. They're like little bridges between people.
That's a lovely way to say it. A bridge. A small one, but still meaningful.
And you don't have to memorize anything, just use what feels natural.
Exactly. Daily English isn't a performance. It's just being yourself. Kindly, gently, simply.
I love that. So, should we ask our question of the day?
Yes, let's do it. Question of the day. What is one small daily English conversation you had recently? Maybe with a neighbor, a coworker, someone at a store, or even just a friendly stranger.
We'd really love to hear your answers in the comments. Your stories always make us smile.
Truly. And if you enjoyed this gentle, cozy conversation, please remember to like, subscribe, and tap the bell icon so you don't miss future episodes.
It helps our little community grow, and it means a lot to us.
Thank you so much for spending this gentle time with us today.
We hope your day is filled with small, warm conversations.
And we'll see you again soon.
Take care, everyone.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.